Hi, Lavanya. Thank you so much for helping my project. Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Nathan. So good to see you and really nice talking to you after a long time. A little bit of myself. I'm from Minnesota and I have two young kids. My daughter is 9 and my son is 6 years old. They're super energetic and they always keep me busy with all their activities and lots of chatting and yeah, lots of their activities. And besides that, I work for board as a product support analyst, and then my passion is dancing, choreography, and more of art side, painting, and a little bit of home decor.
Well, that's awesome. So, what are your children interested in?
So right now their interest keeps changing. So right now they are into ice skating and tennis. Besides that, my younger one, he likes to try lots of Legos, building Legos. He builds all like different vehicles. I don't know where they'll travel, probably in space. I don't know, they are not really meant for a road transportation, but he comes up with all sorts of ideas. They're good though. Sometimes it's like a very fancy school bus, and then sometimes it's, I don't understand, it just takes things from point A to point B. So, and yeah, and pretty much it. And my daughter, she's more into baking. So
That's
these are some of them that they're currently interested in.
that's so amazing. I had a vision of combining tennis and ice skating and what that might look like.
Oh, really?
Can you imagine? Like skating around and trying to hit the ball and stuff. So that would be kind of neat.
Oh, I'm sure you'll do it. You can pick up any skill.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, well, that's awesome. So like, what got you into dance?
Oh, well, I don't know what got me into dance, but my mom, she was very interested in dancing, and then she made me learn, and that went on and on for many years. So I just like, now I love it. Like, I keep going back to it every now and then, but I continuously practiced it for like maybe 15 years. So, so, so it's, yeah. So I would say I'm still, I still managed to do it. Yeah,
That's amazing. Wow. I love to see you dance sometime. I'm sure it's beautiful.
sure. I'm going to send you a video right after this.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Well, I had a few questions I wanted to ask you about the moon. I guess, first of all, did you know that NASA is planning to send astronauts back to the moon?
Only from you, Nathan. Back in unplanned days, I only heard from you and your LinkedIn posts. Yeah, but
Um,
that's very exciting to know that they are redoing this. That's good.
but I've heard many different thoughts about it. Some people are really excited about it. Some people are like wondering why are they doing it. Some people think, wow, we're spending so much to send people to the moon, but what about these problems here on Earth? And even some people have said, we shouldn't mess up the moon, so people shouldn't even go to the moon because of that. I was kind of curious on like the spectrum, like where do you feel yourself?
Well, yeah, even even I feel sometimes, why do we want to go disturb something on the moon unless there is something that's actually useful for humanity? But still, I don't know. I think it's a research that will be in progress for. It's like a never-ending one, I guess. There are too many unknowns there, but um, but I, I, I don't know. I'm the one part that I'm excited about is like in my childhood, I know there was one Indian astronaut who landed, and then he had a very good view of India from top, and then he said it's like beautiful. Maybe that's one reason I would look forward to see like how would Earth look from that high level. And maybe if we can find something that's useful for humanity, that would be a very good reason. But I don't know anything beyond that. I can't think of any other reasons beyond that.
When so I it's kind of interesting. Humanity's awareness of the universe has been developing. You know, at one point, I think people felt like the Earth was everything, and everything above the Earth was just like a light show going on. You know, like the sun would move over and the stars would come out and things like this. But then, you know, we've learned that the Earth is like a really, really small spot, and there's all these other places in the solar system. And then we learned that there's all these other stars with like planets by them, and then, you know, there's all these other galaxies with even more stars, and that, you know, the part of the universe that we're in is like so small. Um, I guess, you know, if like, who is all of that universe for, if not for us?
That's an amazing question, Nathanji. Even I wonder, like, how is this all even made up of? Like, what's making Earth stand in its own orbit, and what's making it go around the sun? Yeah, there are too many things, and I think we know very little speck of it. And I still remember that picture that you posted where you said, we are only a teeny bit of, we are such a small part of this entire universe, and there is so much more that we need to know. Well, I don't know. That's a very, very fascinating question that I always had.
But I guess, you know, if humanity can go out and explore and develop these places and turn these resources into things that are useful for humans, and is that something we should do, or how do you feel about it?
Well, can you rephrase the question one more time?
Should humanity try to use the entire universe, or should humanity limit itself to only the Earth?
So I feel whatever is happening in Earth should stay here, but we should also find another space in universe which is different from Earth and which is more sustainable to humanity. So by that what I mean is, probably there are other 5 elements besides what we have here, like water outside of Earth, and probably it's more beautiful and it's more sustainable, more healthy, and maybe more lifespan there, because it's far away from Earth. We have more number of hours. So I don't want it to be technologically forward, like no internet, no working from other planets. So something very, very, it's like a fairy tale world that I would imagine. Yeah, I would love to see there is another sustainable place, but it should be outside of Earth, I feel. Yeah.
Now, when you think about the future that your children will live in, and your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren, and your great-great-grandchildren, and you think back to the world that your parents lived in, and your grandparents lived in, the great-great-grandparents lived in, and all that, how do you see the world changing for your future generations? Like, what would, like, I'm not sure how many greats it is, but in like 200 years, how do you think your descendants will be living? Like, what will their life be like?
I think we'll again go back to our previous generations, Nitanji. I somehow have that feeling. Technology will take you to a certain level. I mean, I don't mean to be very negative about it. It helps us, but I think I somehow feel more manual stuff, more using our brain power, our human power is more sustainable than this automatic and instant things. I mean, the technology is definitely, it's very fascinating in certain areas, but in not all aspects, I feel. So if given a chance, how would I want to be after 200 years? How my kids, how I feel they should live more life closer to the nature, do more stuff by themselves, and evolve more as a human in that fashion. That's what I would dream of.
And sort of like there's like these intentional communities where they like grow their own food, and they recycle their own water, and they build their own buildings, and they're
Yes.
the humans are an integral part of the whole process. Something more like
Yes.
that.
Yeah, more coexist with the nature and environment, and not be too destructive about it. So I think, yeah, information is good, but too much information is not that good, I feel sometimes. Yeah.
Well, excuse me. You have like these open loop cycles or systems where you have to have continuous input into these systems, and then they produce output that nobody uses. So they're like consuming resources and producing trash. And then you have like these closed loop circles where the only thing you put into it's energy, but then all the material gets just transformed and reused as is needed. And it feels like nature is a very much a closed loop cycle where you have like elements in the air and the soil, and then that produces your plants, which get eaten by animals, which get eaten by other animals, which decay and produce nutrients for the soil. And it's like, kind of like this loop, and
Yeah.
all you need is sunlight.
Yeah, it's totally interdependent. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think we should, yeah, that's how I would imagine, like, it should be a smooth sailing one, just interdependent on each other and then keep going. I mean, I think we should just keep things very simple as much as possible.
Um, if somebody said, Lavanya, would you like to take a trip to space? Here's the rocket over here. Would you take that trip?
Definitely. I'll definitely give
Really?
it a try. Yeah, I would love to.
How far
I
would
don't,
you go?
that's the thing, like, it depends. I want to come back, so I don't want to go too far. And it has to be safe, definitely. If it's like guaranteed that I'm going to come back and see my kids again. So yeah, I'll definitely not miss that chance. Yeah, I want to experience everything, that's possible, that's doable. So I'll definitely
So
take a chance.
you would take a trip to like orbit and come back after a few days, or go to the moon for a week and come back, that type of thing?
Oh yeah, sure. Definitely to a moon. I really want to, I imagine always as a terrace and then looking from up there and seeing how our Earth looks. Definitely. To the moon, yeah, definitely. I would love to grab that chance. To the space, I don't know, I might get bored if I don't see anything fancy out there. But yeah, but I wouldn't miss a chance if at all I get if at all I get that opportunity to travel.
That's awesome. Well, that's pretty much all the questions I had. Did you have any questions for me or anything that you wanted to talk about?
Yes, Nathanji, what would you, how would you imagine like 200 years from now? How would you want it to be?
Um, I imagine that we have people living on the moon, on Mars, in like these huge structures that we've developed. We have people living on the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. We have like the first kind of like generation ships on the way to other stars. And people are living like hundreds of years. And I would say in some ways, people feel more confident and more philosophical than they do now. So that's how I see humanity in 200 years.
So how positive are you that there's another form of life or somewhere out there? How positive are
Oh,
you?
I think it's 100%. You know, I
Okay.
mean, because if you could buy, you know, what is it, 100 million lottery tickets, you're like guaranteed to win. And so if you consider each star like a lottery ticket, I think there's enough up there to at least win multiple times over. So that's my thought. at
Oh,
least.
nice logic. I love it.
The
Nice.
question is, will we find them or will they find us? And when
Us.
we meet, will we be friends that are embracing on this fasting, or will we look at each other scared and kind of have our old instincts come about?
Yeah, quite possible. Quite possible. Interesting. Interesting to know.
Well, very good. Let me go ahead and stop the recording then.
Yeah, sure.